This world becoming increasingly globalized. What kind of life will you live in this world? Will you isolate yourself and live as a loner? Or will you open yourself and live with the world? Countries and individuals who build walls will gradually disappear. North Korea is a good example. Individuals and countries that break down barriers and open their doors to the world will prosper. We are leaders in our own lives. Will our lives be dragged around or will you actively pursue? A country that moves forward will prosper and its people will live happy. We'll explore how the world is becoming globalized and how will we talk about how to live proactively. It is very important what kind of spirit and attitude we have in our lives. We must possess global leadership and take initiative and lead our lives. Globalization. Globalization is an expensive and multifaceted process that has significantly shaped the modern world. It involves the increasing interaction and integration among people, companies, and governments worldwide. Spanning across economic, cultural, technological, and political dimensions, globalization has profound impacts on societies, economies, and environments around the globe. First, economic globalization. One of the most prominent aspects of globalization is the integration of world economies. This is characterized by an increase in global trade and movements of capital across the borders. Key elements include international trade. The exchange of goods and services between countries has expanded dramatically, driven by reduced trade barriers and advance in transportation and technology. Foreign direct investment. This refers to the investment in a country by foreign companies. FDI can lead to the transfer of technology, expertise, and capital across borders. Global financial markets are increasingly interconnected. Development in one market can have immediate impact on markets worldwide. Labor mobility. There has been a significant increase in the movement of people for work, leading to a more global workforce. Second, cultural globalization. The spread of ideas, information, images, and people across countries lead to cultural interactions and exchanges. Aspects include media and information flow, the global reach of media companies, and the internet facilities that the rapid spread of information and cultural products, cultural homogenization versus hybridization. Some argue globalization leads to a homogenization of cultures, where dominant cultures overshadow local ones. Overseas see a hybridization process where cultures interact and mix, creating new cultural forms. Global awareness and identities. People are increasingly aware of global issues and often develop identities that are influenced by global ideas and values. So, technology globalization. Technology is a major driver of globalization, reducing distance and barriers between countries. Communication technologies. The internet and mobile communication have revolutionized how we connect, making it possible to communicate instantaneously across the globe. Transportation technologies, advances in transportation, such as jet aircraft and container shipping, have dramatically reduced the time and cost of moving goods and people internationally. First, political globalization. The political aspect involves the increasing influence and interaction of international and regional organizations. International and regional organizations, bodies like the United Nations, European Union, and World Trade Organization play significant roles in international relations, trade regulations, and global governance. Global policies and agreements, international agreements on issues like climate change, trade regulations, and human rights illustrate how countries work together to address global issues. Fifth, impact of globalization, economic growth and development. Globalization can lead to economic growth, offering countries access to larger markets and encouraging the flow of capital and technology. Cultural exchange, composed to different cultures, can lead to greater understandings and the sharing of cultural experiences. Access to information and technology. Countries can benefit from the rapid spread of technology and information, which can lead to innovation and developments. Six, however, globalization also has negative impacts. Economic disparities. It can exaggerate income inequalities both within and within countries, as benefits may be unevenly distributed. Cultural erosion. Local cultures may be overshadowed by dominant global cultures, leading to loss of traditional values and practice. Environmental impact. Increased industrial activity and transportation associated with globalization can lead to environmental degradation and contribute to climate change. In summary, globalization is a complex and dynamic process with far-reaching effects. It has the potential to bring significant benefits in terms of economic development, cultural exchange, and technological advancement. However, it also poses challenges related to inequality, cultural erosion, and environmental sustainability. Balancing these benefits and challenges is a key task for governments, businesses, and individuals in the globalized world. Two, global leadership refers to the ability to influence individuals, groups, and organizations from various cultural backgrounds to work towards a common goal or vision in an international or global context. Effective global leaders are skilled in navigating complex international environments and possess certain key characteristics. A, cultural intelligence. Understanding and respecting different cultures, customs, and practice is crucial. This includes being adaptable and sensitive to cultural nuances. Cultural intelligence is a critical aspect of global leadership and interpersonal effectiveness in a multicultural environment. It involves understanding, respecting, and adapting to different cultures, customs, and practice. It extends beyond mere awareness of cultural differences to the ability to cross boundaries and thrive in multiple cultures. Here are key components and considerations that encompass cultural intelligence. Awareness and understanding. The foundation of security lies in being aware of one's own cultural perspective and understanding the diversity of other cultures. This includes knowledge of different customs, values, and communication styles. Recognizing that cultural norms affect how people think and behave is essential. Cognitive cultural intelligence. This refers to the cognitive aspect of ECQ, the knowledge about different cultures, including their history, values, politics, language, and economic systems. It's not just about facts, but also understanding the nuance and the subtleties of various cultural contexts, emotional and motivational cultural intelligence. This involves the emotional capability to motivate oneself and proceed in challenging cross-cultural situations. Emotional CQ is the ability to emphasize and relate to people from different cultures. It includes managing one's emotions and being sensitive to other emotional needs, expressions, which may vary significantly across cultures. Behavioral cultural intelligence. This is the ability to adapt one's behavior to different cultural settings. It includes flexibility in action and behavior when interacting with people from diverse cultures. This means not only adjusting one's verbal and non-verbal, but also attitude and actions, that is respectable and effective, given cultural context. Cross-cultural communication. Effective communication is a critical part of CQ. This involves not only language proficiency, but also an understanding of non-verbal cues such as gestures, personal space, and facial expressions, which can vary dramatically between cultures. Cultural impasse. This is the capability to connect with people from other cultures emotionally. It's about more than understanding where someone else is coming from. It's about truly feeling with them. This connection fosters trust and respect in multicultural interactions. Adaptability and resilience. Being adaptable in the face of cultural surprise and misunderstanding is key. Resilience helps in navigating unfamiliar situations without losing one's effectiveness. Lifelong learning. Developing CQ is an ongoing process. It involves continuous learning and adapting based on new cultural experiences and information. This includes actively seeking out opportunities to engage with different cultures and learn from those experiences. Inclusivity and respect. Practicing inclusivity and showing respect for all cultural backgrounds is the cornerstone of CQ. This means recognizing and valuing diverse perspectives and avoiding assumptions or stereotypes. Ethical consideration and integrity. Navigating cultural differences ethically and with integrity is crucial. This involves understanding the ethical implications of business practice in different cultures and ensuring that actions are respectable and fair. High CQ enables individuals and leaders to effectively bridge cultural divides. Build diverse teams, create inclusive environment, and navigate the complexities of the global landscape. It's not only about enhancing personal and organizational effectiveness, but also about contributing to a more understanding, respectful, and interconnected world.
I'm Zakir Hussain from Pakistan, and my topic for today is how to be a global leader. Well, I know it's a very, very vast topic, but the thing is, like, I'll try to like focus on the things that matter for us, for the people who are sitting in this hall today. Because I know that a lot of people here are international students studying in Korea and other foreign expats working in Korea. And of course, we have a lot of Korean friends who are also very ambitious to become global leaders. First, I want to tell you a very brief profile of myself because later my talk would be very much related to what I did so far. Can you see this picture right here? What could that be? Like a chicken house? Or, but no, that's the place where I was born. It was a very small village in the extreme northern part of Pakistan. It was a mud house. We didn't have anything around. We just had kettles. You won't see animals all around, and some vegetables and stones and mountains, and that's it. But I was born there, and when I was a kid, in my very exact village that I was born in, we didn't have a single school. My brothers would walk for an hour or two to go to a very, 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 very common, very simple school. And that's where I started. And I don't know how I managed to be here today, giving you a global leadership talk on TED. It could be inspiring, but at the same time, it was hard. To come all the way here. A place where I started was that, and then today I stand here after graduating from Korea University from electrical engineering. I've been working in the solar power industry, and at the same time, I'm doing professional MBA. So I work from 9 to 6, and I go to school from 7 to 10, which is crazy. Right? And then at the same time, if I have a weekend, that's fine. But the thing is, my weekends are also very, very kind of busy. I do a TV show in Korea, which is called 1video1613364729. Anybody knows about the show? That's right. A lot of people know about the show. The response was very small. Anyway, TV show, which is called 1video1613364729, and I'm representing Pakistan. I'm the first foreigner in Korea to become the brand ambassador, they call it, or a promotion ambassador of Korea National Hockey Association. This is not ice hockey, guys. It's field hockey. Don't go to Canada right away. So it's field hockey. So yeah, I'm trying to promote Korean field hockey in Korea and all around the world. And that's where I stand. And my talk is going to be not very informative, but it's going to be a little bit inspirational because that's where I started and that's where I stand today. This way was a long way. I'm not a global leader. Don't expect a lot of global leadership things from me, but the way that I covered so far, it's kind of a long way, and I think I learned a couple of things that I want to share with people, and I would be really happy if you could get inspired of these things, and we could make a better global world together, right? After I got the topic for this show, I want to meet some of the friends and some of the people who know much better than me about leadership and about globalization and things. And we had a lot of discussions on these things, and I wanted to get the best points and the most useful things that I want to tell you guys. But the things that we were talking were very kind of general. For example, some of the things that we were talking about was like if you want to be a global leader, you should have a curiosity, a lifelong curiosity, of course, because curiosity takes you to learning, right? It leads you to learning. And to be a global leader, of course, you need a lot of learnings. And that's very true. You cannot avoid that. But that is very general topic. And then at the same time, if you want to be a global leader, you should be humble, you should be nice, you should be like this and that. And all these kind of things were very general, but there are two things that I want to talk about that I cherish in my life, and I try to implement them in my life too. Those are the things that might have put me on a spot where people consider me or see me as a young global leader. I'm not saying I'm a global leader, but people consider me global leader. So take it easy, guys. So the most important thing that I feel not a global leader, a general leader should have is you need to create a visible presence for yourself. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you should have a presence of yourself. You have to prove that you're sitting there. Sitting at the backside and just listening and then just do things and follow the process and procedures. That might not lead us to a place where you can call yourself a leader. So making a visible presence is very important. How can you do that? That's very important, right? Well, for me, I think for making a visible presence, there are some things. First thing is you have to be prepared for whatever you do. I mean, if you going to a meeting, you're going to a date, whatever. I mean, you're meeting some new people, right? You need to be prepared. What I'm going to do there, like for example, you're going to a business meeting, and you don't know what are you going to negotiate on, and you're not prepared for that, you're going to lose that negotiation for sure. So to be prepared, I mean, if you're prepared, you got the words in the crowd, then people will see, oh, this guy knows a lot of things. So there's an impression that, oh, people are already taking you as a leader, kind of you're leading the crowd. And the second thing is, which a lot of people don't consider very important, but I personally consider it very important, is how you look, how you dress up. You know, when I was a student in Korea University, I would see people coming up for presentations, putting on some sleepers and stuff, you know. I mean, that's cool. I mean, that's cool. If you are a very intellectual guy, you have something, you know, like you're like Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook. That's fine, man. You got things that prove that you're a leader. But generally, if you, I mean, putting a good dress and giving a good present, like kind of like look for yourself, an intellectual look. If you're doing an intellectual talk, or if you're going to date, going to on a date, you should be dressed up in a way that the girl or the guy should be like, oh yeah. That's how it is. I mean, that's, you know, we see like the first impression is the last impression, right? So giving it a first impression from your looks, and then you're prepared, that's already you're leading the crowd and you're getting into a position of leadership, right? And then second thing is communication, how you communicate with your audience. That is also very important. I mean, these are very general topics for general leadership. I'll take you to another concept that I'm going to talk about, which is the main concept of my talk today, that will make you a global leader. But these are the just leadership concepts that we need to have to become a global leader, right? So communication. How can you make a better communication skills in yourself? Well, the first thing that you need to be good at communication is you need to know your audience. What kind of audience you're meeting, what kind of people you're meeting. For example, if you're meeting people from different countries, because we're talking about being global, so we're meeting people from different cultures and different countries, you should know somehow a little bit of things about that person's culture, at least try to make an introduction in their language. That's one of the techniques that I use. Like if I'm going to meeting a group of people from Mongolia, let's say. Any Mongolian today? Yeah, we got some Mongolians. So if I'm going to meet some people from Mongolia, I'll try to introduce myself in their language. What that does is like this person would feel like, oh, this guy knows about my culture. This guy knows about me, and he is respecting my culture, right? So that would make that person feel like comfortable. Oh yeah, I'm fine with this guy. Let's do it. So you kind of like again, kind of like in a position to lead the things. Guys, I'm not just saying I can introduce myself in Mongolian, I can do it. You know, I can really do introduce myself in Mongolian. So yeah, that's the way I do, and I do the ice breaking wherever I go and whenever I meet people. But sometimes there are things like, for example, people want to ice break, but they are not breaking the ice; they are making the ice work. Sometimes they do that. For example, you know, I talk about dressing right. So sometimes when I go in a crowd or in a meeting, I usually dress up like this. I mean, that's my style. Do you like this? Yeah. So when I go to a meeting, people would say like, "Where are you?" Their first question is, you know, in Korea, your first question, "Where are you from? How old are you?" Right? So my first question, "Where are you from?" And I say, "I'm from Pakistan." Oh. Why? Wait, you look like an Italian. So the thing is, like, people would see that if a person is dressed up very well, so there are certain stereotypes like, oh, Italians dress up really well. They do, of course they do. But the thing is, like, people from other countries do the same too. So they're trying to like do an ice breaking, but this is making an ice over me. Like, I'm kind of offensive. What? I mean, people in Pakistan don't dress like that. But so you have to be very careful of how you break the ice if you want to lead the crowd. So that is very important. And yeah, like there are some other things, but I want to really take you to the real main concept of my talk, which is in the next slide, if you will see, I call it 3 R's. But guys, this R is not any mathematics, don't worry. It's just the word is really long, so I put an R in there. So these 3 R's are because the crowd here mainly are foreigners living in Korea, and I think that as foreigners, as students, as teachers and professionals, we have two responsibilities that could make us a global leader. That could make us act like a global leader, maybe, and we can contribute in globalization. And if you are contributing in positive globalization, I think you're a global leader already, right? So, what are those three R's that I want to talk about in the next slide? First, responsibility of promoting the country of your origin. I mean, guys, wherever you're from, you have to feel pride of where you're from. I mean, your identity, your culture, your country, whatever you have, you should be proud of that. I mean, it doesn't mean that like, oh, other cultures are just so I'm the best. No, you have to respect your own culture, and you have to promote your country. You should try to promote wherever. For example, in Korea, Korea is very globalized now. A lot of foreigners here in Korea, but there are still few things that need to be better. That could be better. I mean, much better. And for example, sometimes like some people I met, they think like, for example, Mongolia. I heard my Mongolian friend told me that a Korean asked me like, "Do you guys still ride horses when you?" And similar questions I get about Pakistan. Oh, is it still dangerous? Are you guys in war? I mean, is it a desert? You know, but I came from the highest mountains in the world. I came from the Himalayas. The thing is, like, it doesn't mean that people are undercounting you, or like underestimating you, or looking down at you. It's because people don't know. People don't know a lot of things. But that's your responsibility now to let them know. I mean, it's not like you don't need to push your culture on them. Like, hey, you have to follow my culture. I mean, you have to do this and that. I don't know. Don't push your culture. Let them know your culture, and also try to learn about their culture and try to like respect that. That's the thing that we need to do. Like respect the differences and celebrate and encourage the similarities. That's what we need to do, right? But for that, we need to at least let know what your culture is, how you guys live. And if I give you an example, when I came to Korea for the first time, people didn't know a lot about Pakistan. I mean, like there are a lot of things they didn't know about Pakistan. They only knew the things that comes on the news. Like oh, there was a big thing, terrorist attack and stuff like that. But yeah, that's on the news, and that's right. I mean, there are things happening like that, but there are other things still that are happening which you cannot see in the news normally. So, and that's your responsibility to globalize the world. You need to let people know what things are there on the other side. So, what I did was, me and some of my friends, we teamed up. We brought all the Pakistani students studying in Korea. We have 2,000 students in Pakistan, in Korea right now. We teamed up together in 2010. I came in 2008, and in 2 years we teamed it up. What we started doing is we started doing cultural shows and letting people doing seminars and conferences to let people know what Pakistan really is. And people respected that, and we're still doing a lot of activities around. At the same time, I personally started writing articles in Korean because I speak Korean. I've been here for a long time. I started writing articles in Korean, and people started like knowing about Pakistan. And as I said, I'm doing a TV show which is very much liked by Koreans, and I think I've been here on the show for a year, and the image of Pakistan and the information that people had about Pakistan a year ago, and the things that people know about Pakistan now are totally different. And that's something I think I contributed in a little bit of globalization. Of course, it's about my country, but at the end, like you're letting people know about some new culture and things, and that's leading us towards globalization. That's leading us towards letting people know the differences, and that's how we get globalized, right? So that's something that we all need to be doing as a global leader. And this is something that normally everybody does. I think everybody does. But I'll talk about another responsibility that we have is responsibility of promoting the host country. I mean, we've been in Korea for a long time, guys. Korea is giving us a lot of things. We have to accept it. Be fair enough that because Korea is our second home, wherever I go in the world, after, of course, I talk about Pakistan, but at the same time, I feel proud to talk about Korea also, right? I mean, you need to appreciate the good things in Korea, and you need to learn all the good things in Korea, and also, of course, if there's some bad thing in Korea that's happening, at least, I mean, you should try to like get that over. I mean, being a global leader, you need to take risks, you need to come forward, as I said. You have to do that. So, I mean, for example, Korea had a lot of good things. You know, when I was coming to Korea for the first time, people were telling me like, why are you going to a place where there's a war? I mean, people were thinking that I'm going to North Korea, and they didn't know that North Korea and South Korea are two different countries. I mean, totally two different countries, right? But like, you see, people didn't know. As I said, Koreans sometimes don't know about your countries. At the same time, your countries don't know about Korea too. And that's again become your responsibility. If you want to become a global leader, you have to play the other way around too. You have to let people know about Korea too. That's what does like bring other countries and our countries closer together, and you know, make us more globalized, right? That's what we need to do. So it is my responsibility to promote Korea, to promote Korean culture, and to do that, you know, I like giving examples from my life because I want to make it very practical. I could say, oh, this leader Obama did that. I could do that, but the thing is, if I give the example from my life, we're all same. We're all on the same page. So if I can do, I feel like you guys can do the same too. All right. So what I'm doing is, like, you see, I said, as I said earlier, that I'm the promotional ambassador of Korean Hockey Association. So what I'm trying to do is, you know, Korea has a very good field hockey facilities and system, but a lot of people don't know about it. So what I'm trying to do is, with the association, we're trying to like let people know about field hockey in Korea. There are facilities around, and you can play field hockey. A lot of foreigners were coming to Korea. They didn't know about field hockey, but now a lot of people know. At the same time, after this recent issue of Psy, the tourism was going down in Korea because Chinese were not coming to Korea. So what we did is, like, with the Korea Tourism Organization, we did some events that would bring more tourists from other parts of the world. So I became, because I'm a Muslim, so I was responsible to focus more on the Muslim countries. For example, there are a lot of tourists coming from Indonesia and Malaysia. So we were trying to like do some events to promote in their countries about Korean tourism. So that's what we are trying to promote Korea. That, so you know, that's what we need to do as a global leader. So the third responsibility, which I'll go through very briefly, is in my last slides. Yeah. So a responsibility as a foreigner, guys. A lot of foreigners in Korea, but you know, some of them are really super happy. Some of them are having problems and stuff like that. As a foreigner, now we all as a foreigner in Korea, and of course, when Koreans go to other countries, they are foreigners too. They need to do the same thing. To become a global leader, don't wait for 10 years or 20 years to become the Secretary General of the United Nations or stuff like that. I mean, you can do that now. Be friendly with people from different countries. And as a foreigner in Korea, there are a lot of things. Korean government has a lot of good policies for foreigners, but people don't know about them. So if you know about them, if you get to know about them, you can lead those people. That's how you become a global leader. So what we did is, like, there was no field hockey for foreigners in Korea. What I did and some other friends, we teamed up together again, and we made the first ever field hockey foreigners field hockey team in Korea. And today, a lot of foreigners are enjoying playing field hockey. So that's kind of like we are creating for like some facilities and things for our foreign friends in Korea. And at the same time, Seoul metropolitan government wanted to make this city a better city for foreigners. So we worked with the Seoul government, and we made 6 different policies that could make Seoul more foreigners friendly. And most of those policies are already implemented in Seoul. I'm not going into details, you can find it online. So these are the things we need to do. We have to go out of the comfort zones. We have to break the boxes. We have to go out, and we have to take risks in life if you want to be a global leader. And although it was not very informative, you all know all these kind of things. I'm just trying to tell, we've been doing this and we are getting good responses. And if everybody start doing that, I'm sure people will consider you as global leaders. And I hope you guys would do the same from now on. Thank you very much. And so